Red's Top 10. I am Anthony Gamer, and I am Red Fox. Today we're going to be discussing our top 10 favorite Intellivision games. As I am right in the midst of a unit on my regular channel about the Intellivision, I thought it was a good idea for me and my buddy Red here to make our own top 10 of our favorite Intellivision games. Oh yeah, I've been playing Intellivision a little longer than he has. Actually, I got one in the very, very early 80s. When did you first discover it? I first played the Intellivision around Christmas time in 1982 when we went to Minnesota to visit my grandma and grandpa and my uncles. Oh, yeah. So, what was your favorite game? I guess you'll have to wait till the very end and find out. Oh, yeah, that's for sure. Anyway, before we start, our usual disclaimer, we mean absolutely no disrespect when we do these videos. These are simply our opinions, and we're not saying that our opinion is better than anyone else. They're just what we think. And so therefore, if you feel there are some games that should have been on this list, well, that's your opinion, but let us know about it in the comments section below. So without further ado, let's get started on Anthony and Red's top 10 Intellivision games.
And starting off at the number 10 spot, there is Dracula from 1982 by Magic. Now, this game here is pretty cool because you actually get to play the Prince of Darkness there. You don't have to play one of them dumb vampire hunters like Van Helsing or whatever. You are playing the bad guy. That's correct. And the object of the game is you go around and try to drink as much blood as possible, avoid the hawk or owl, whatever that bird is that comes after you. Look out for the constable and get yourself back to your coffin before dawn. Pretty cool game, and it actually is a little on the valuable side. Loose card alone will run you close to $50, but it is worth it. This has got to be one of my all-time favorite Intellivision games. Okay, at the number 9 spot, we have Beauty and the Beast. This is also from 1982 from Magic. Now, this game, Horrible Hank has grabbed Tiny Mabel and climbed the old Mutton building. Only bashful Buford can save her. Help him scale the building, but watch out for those rolling boulders. Birds and bats swooping down on Buford, and he leaps over scurrying rats. You actually climb up windows instead of ladders like you would in like Donkey Kong, and if Tiny Mabel throws hearts to you and you catch them, you become invincible for a short time. A really cool platformer game along the lines of definitely Donkey Kong, but yet original in its own right. And next at the number 8 spot, we have Thunder Castle. Now, I just recently discovered this game as I found it on Intellivision Lives. The game was supposed to be released in 1982, but wasn't released until 1986. In this medieval fantasy game, you take on the role of a knight, and you have to fight in 3 different places. You start off in a forest where you have to fight dragons, then you go to a castle, and then a dungeon. Along the way, you have things that will help or hinder you on your quest. It's a pretty cool game, and it's a shame that it didn't really get as much publicity as it deserved, as this is definitely a hidden classic in my opinion. One thing I think is funny is how when you get the power to come after the bad guys, they run like cowards, but they're all tough otherwise. Pretty fun game there. I have to say that I've played this game over and over again and love it. And next up there, we have Tropical Trouble from 1982, also released by Magic. And in this game, you take on the role of Clumsy Clarence, whose girlfriend is being kidnapped on their vacation by a mean guy called Beach Bruiser. And Clarence needs to rescue her by chasing him all over the island. You've got stuff that's being thrown at you and all kinds of bad stuff, and then occasionally Doris will throw you a handkerchief, which makes you invincible for a short amount of time. Now, some people consider this game to be a sequel of sorts to Beauty and the Beast, and I think that's a fair enough way to put it. Yep, as opposed to being a platformer, this is definitely a really fun side-scroller, and one game that I really think does define how much the Intellivision is capable of doing. And at the number 6 spot, we have Locomotion. This was released in 1983. And the description of it is that Locomotion is a puzzle-style arcade game in which a train is riding on a grid of movable track pieces. The goal is to guide the train through the train stations located around the edge of the playfield. An empty section of the grid allows the player to shift adjacent track pieces into that section to alter the train's path. And a tracing light shows the path the train is taking as it moves. An accelerator button moves the train more quickly on its path, and a panic button will switch the piece of track the train is on with a random track piece on the grid. Really a fun game, and it can get really hard pretty quick, but I hadn't even heard of this game until I was doing research about the long-lost prototype that M Network was going to release for the Atari 2600, and I tell you, this game quickly became one of my most favorite, and definitely a game that I became obsessed with. If ever there was a game there that you could show to somebody who's never played Intellivision before, this would be one that I would definitely show them, and this is Thin Ice. In this game, you take on the role of a pesky penguin named Duncan, who likes to ice skate and actually likes to skate a box around some of these penguins that used to pick on him and make them fall into the drink. The game is a whole lot of fun and can get challenging pretty quick because you got that pesky seal and a walrus coming after you, but man, it's a lot of fun and hours of fun for players and a whole family. Now at the number 4 slot, we have the game Tron Deadly Discs. Now, Mattel was lucky to get the endorsement from Walt Disney from the movie Tron, and they ran with it with some really good games. I'm going to discuss them all in a later episode, but out of all of them, my favorite has to be this one, Deadly Discs, as you take on the role of Tron and you are fighting against your enemies with these discs. You throw them at the opponents and they're throwing some at you. You have to avoid the discs and take out as many of the bad guys as you can. It's a really fun action-paced game, and it gets pretty difficult pretty quick, but not enough that you won't want to play it over and over again, like we do. And at the number 3 slot there, we have probably one of the greatest games ever made for the Intellivision there, and one that some people were surprised became such a big hit, and that is Shark. In this one, you were taking on the role of a little fish, and you were trying to eat the bigger fish and get bigger, and ultimately take out that big, mean, nasty shark. Another game that you can show to people not familiar with Intellivision, and they'll instantly become hooked, no matter what age the player is. And at the number 2 spot there, we have the launch title for Intellivision, and this was Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack. Now, this game is a whole lot of fun, although it was obvious as it came with the Intellivision that it was telling people that Intellivision isn't just for kids there. So you have some pretty cool games. You have 5-card stud, 7-card draw, 5-card draw, and of course, Blackjack. You start off with so much money and you try to get as much money as you can, just like in regular Vegas games. Fun for the whole family, except maybe the kids, unless you want the kids to learn how to gamble at a young age. Did they let you play this when you were little? No, they let me watch, but I still got the main idea of it back then. Hoo-ha. Really fun game, and definitely one to show people that Intellivision is fun for the whole family.
Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Oh yeah, what's that? I forgot. The number 1 game. Oh yeah, so what is it? Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The number 1 of our top 10 Intellivision games.
And no surprise there for anyone who's known you longer than 10 minutes, and that is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, also known as Cloudy Mountain. And this game pretty much started a lifelong love of Dungeons and Dragons with this guy over here. Oh, that's for sure. I remember playing this game as a kid, as I always say, back in Christmas time of 1982, and I really wasn't any good at it, but I still loved it. Actually, I like kind of the sound it made when you got killed under the labyrinths and stuff. But anyway, for those of you that have never played it, you are basically trying to cross this mountain range, get to Cloudy Mountain, and destroy a winged dragon and get a treasure. It's a really, really fun game, and after so many years of playing it, I finally beat it, and I tell you, there will never, ever be another Intellivision game or many other video games, period, that have a special place in my heart like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, we certainly hope you enjoyed that list. We sure enjoyed making it. Oh yeah, we sure did. and we are going to have some more top 10s coming sometime soon. So just be on the lookout. And how will you know when we release another top 10? Well, that's easy. All you have to do is subscribe and click that little bell icon down there so you'll be notified when I upload new videos. So until next time, I'm Anthony Gamer, and I am Red Fox, and we will see you all in the next Anthony and Red's Top 10. Till then, take care. Bye everyone. Goodbye.